If you found this video first or just have better taste than watching me, let me sum up where I left off on my last video with the Mentor Roulette. The Mentor Roulette is a special roulette players unlock by becoming mentors and clearing pretty much every duty in the game besides late game raids. The actual rewards for running it are bad even when compared to other roulettes. The difficulty per duty is all over the place, and so is their average duration. Not to mention, you can't even run it as a non-max level job, which is pretty much the main reason people run roulettes in the first place. So the only real incentive you get for running the Mentor Roulette is amount for running it thousands of times, but it simply counts duty completion and nothing else. I left it off with the implication that this system is abusable, and in this video I will say exactly how. Alright, with those being reinstated, how we're playing and abusing the system. But to start it off, I have to actually talk about something I glossed over. Guildhests. That I thought so little about that I pronounced as guildheists originally. Now guildhests are something that are a relic from the past. They are fairly worthless nowadays. The one practical purpose they have is completing your challenge log for some XP. But all things considered, the rewards for clearing guild heists are so low that the player base in general ignores it. And this is the main factor that abuses the Mentor Roulette. Now, on researching for this video a little bit, I saw people who had completed the Mentor Roulette and got them out, and what their experience was. And thankfully for me, some people are way more organized than I am, and really like to categorize everything that they go through. I'll even add one link on the description for you guys, but to cut it short, if you queue as DPS for Mentor Roulette, expect a lot of guild heists. And the vast majority of guild heists last a minute or less. And there's an almost poetic, symbiotic relationship between the guild heist and the Mentor Roulette. But the main deal is that since so few people use either, they're likely to meet. Now why? You can guess some mentors do in fact want either the mount or to help players. Why guild heist? Guild heist short duration makes it the ideal spot to farm commendations, and people who queue under the armor over and over, either asking blatantly or trying to incentivize you to commend them. And I swear, the most common under the armor party is someone else with the combat mentor crown on DPS and tanks and healer dressed lightly or in mascot costumes every single time. And to top it all off, they usually have a big ass ASCII macro for joining and leaving the duty, for a duty that, I kid you not, from start to finish is 20 seconds. And it's this shit right here. This is how you can farm 100 clears of Mentor Roulette every single day. It's absurd, it's boring, but most of all, it does not in any way constitute mentoring new players. So what is any individual person to do about it? Not giving them commendations just make them queue again anyway. 20 seconds loss is not a big deal for them. Is it even an issue? You might commend those people because they make your mount grind easier anyway. But let me sidetrack here a little bit, and I'll get back to this, I promise. I have friends and acquaintances that play this game in different ways. Some raid, some like hanging out, experiences on Crystal, and honestly most DCs I know are wildly vast. I've never particularly interested myself in raiding. I have a background on Terra, Ragnarok, even Lineage and Mu way the fuck back. To me, the most interesting aspect of MMOs is indeed the community, and the camaraderie, you should forgive me sounding like a nerd. And I really believe this kind of mindset is what attracts people to the mentor program. You're not doing it for bragging rights, you're not doing it to challenge yourself, to build an economic empire, to run a venue, or even to roleplay. You're instead doing something akin to volunteer work, without any of the benefits because you're a goddamn idiot. But you do enjoy it, so you keep at it. And I realize, when they decided to increase wards on many DCs out there, a lot of people focus on housing. And now I will speak about Dynamis. If I were to approach you and ask you how are new players treated when they make a new character for the first time with no information, very poorly or not at all are both valid responses. And most choices you make are completely irrelevant for a new player, like the birthday, deity, and even starting class point. Some are easy to change and fix, the character appearance itself, the character name, but what isn't very easy to fix for new players is their home world. The game heavily steers new players towards the preferred worlds, which will give the new players 90 days of double XP. This comes with two drawbacks. The first one, the double XP doesn't even go above level 80. If you're above level 80, you will not be receiving that. Second of all, you are stuck in that world for 90 days and you cannot in any way transfer that character out until that period passes. Now, being fair, you can still visit other worlds, you can still travel to other DCs, but still, the question remains, what happened to Dynamis then? The target audience for Dynamis became new players being funneled into it, and people who went there for stuff like housing and other sort of exclusive rare things that would be a headache if you had more competition. Almost every single visit I paid to Dynamis, in multiple occasions, and I just observed a party finder that is barren, without even venue advertisements. People queue for 3 hours for alliance roulettes. The novice network filled in many words with sprouts asking for help to run main story trials and such, often so disheartening on getting a full party that they ask you for just to unsync it so they can move on. Those new data centers aren't just struggling, they're effectively sending people over to others so they can queue into things at all, in turn making their own queues and party finder even worse. They are forced to coordinate to pop PvP, alliance and other roulettes simply to play them. And this should not be something you are okay with if you are a mentor and truly wish to help people. Those people not only need, but they deserve your help. There is a lot of things you can do with people in other worlds and other DCs, but you can't do everything. A couple other things might include leveling the retainers, which a new player definitely needs to do. Grand companies, maps, there's so much that you cannot actually do outside of your main world. The best way to help this DC is to make sure that people stop going to others so they can start queuing stuff in their own DC. And guess what? The Mentor Roulette is a great way to help with it. I'm sure if you try to do this, you know what you're signing up for. You're gonna be running a lot of dungeons with people who are new to the game. Are you getting a bunch of clears for your Mentor Roulette? Probably not. Is it going to be the most exciting and new experience I've ever had? Probably not. A lot of the dungeons are pretty easy, even for new players. But even if there's nothing on it for you, this DC can be so much more if you just help them. Look, I get it. You and I are just two individuals. We often think that to drive actual change into something, we need a group, we need to organize, we need to manage it, and honestly, who the fuck wants to deal with that shit? Getting people under the same banner, organizing, protesting on the forums, and doing stuff, that's just too much work. We can't honestly expect anyone to care enough to police like the novice network and stuff like that. All of that is hard work. It requires dedication and commitment that frankly, I don't blame you if you don't have it. Changing anything, even something as minute as this, can be hard work. And it has nothing to do with mentoring. But being able to spot somewhere you can make a difference, going there and just doing it, that is easier. That's much easier. No one is out there expecting you to fix or change the entire world. But if you can go out of your way to make something, even a small one thing better, isn't it worth it? It's true that Dynamis might already be a lost cause. There's like very little you can do to change the mind of people who already are so like used to just going to other DCs to do the roulettes and stuff. But who knows? Maybe this video reached 10 people when they all help out. Maybe this video reaches one person and they start helping out, and that inspires more people to help out. Maybe it doesn't reach anyone. Maybe I never released this video. Maybe I never finish it. I don't know. I'm not gonna make a forum post about this. I'm not gonna argue about this. I'm pretty sure there's already forum posts about it. I'm not gonna spend my time reading forum posts forever. You know that for what it's worth, I will spread the message that Dynamis and probably other new DCs and worlds out there are struggling and they could benefit from you taking your Mentor Roulette there and helping them out. That's what I'll be doing, and I will hope at least someone else joins me on this journey, because God knows they need as many healers and tanks that they can get. And if you're crazy enough to listen to me talk about this long, and you haven't subscribed yet, consider it. I also am streaming on Twitch. I'll be streaming on Twitch a lot of the roulettes I do for my mom. And I am hoping to see you guys in Dynamis. If you're playing on an ADCs, if you're not, ignore this.